breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just look on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. There'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Look on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. What's going on? We'll let the song finish. I didn't do that Friday. My hometown footage of Ada. You say Ida, I say Ada. Sounds like a storm name. You say Ida. All right, what's up? So we're gonna hit the old countdown button and go live here on our daily brew. What's cooking? Kind of quiet in the weather world. I'm gonna talk about El Nino a little bit. I got some years I want to show everybody. Talk a little bit about El Nino and hurricane season after we get on with what's coming with the weather. There's not really a lot going on as far as the coastal areas go. There are some storms brewing for Carolinas tomorrow. We'll talk about that. But, man, yeah, Craig. What's up, Craig? Talking about the Rays. I almost stopped watching that yesterday. The Rays were behind 6-0. I was like, I don't know if they can come back. Was it the 5th inning? But, man, it happened. They did it. They did it. Good morning, Chris, South Carolina. What are you doing up in South Carolina, Chris? What's up, Mr. Tom? This little Hunter, by the way. Hunter's doing really good. So we'll be going live every day next week, maybe. God, Shelly, I don't know, Shelly. If there's no weather to talk about, we might have to postpone that. I don't know. Or keep them short and sweet. But anyway, our Daily Brew is a tradition here at Mike's Weather page. We stream it live. Monday through Friday, 9:19 Eastern. It's been that way for years, so don't rely on notifications. You can set your Alexa timer. It'll be on every day. And then at nighttime and weekends if we need to. So I'm always live on YouTube and Facebook. If you're a Brew Crew member, if you support our page, Cat 5s, you guys and gals get a texting service where any special video or anything, if there's a new area of interest, if there's a named storm, we experimented with a texting service last year and everybody loved it. So that's going to be a big part this year, a little perk for supporting our page. We send out a text to say, hey, there's a new yellow of interest, or hey, we're going live at 8. But anyway, we love our Daily Brew. It's brought to you by our great friends at ABC. Can you say ABC? ABC. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. I'm going to share the Storm Essentials commercial they did last year, maybe, and leave it up on the page. I always think about what I'm going to leave up on the page. But we had a really cool commercial last year that ABC did. So hopefully you got to see it. But great people at ABC. We love them to death. And very thankful they supporting our page for another year. So over the weekend, we'll talk about this here in a few minutes. Let's say hello for a few minutes. We got Randy from Belize. Holy cow, that's on my bucket list. They don't take dogs, though. There's a little tropical bar and grill that I found online that looks amazing. Bunch of palm trees. What's up, Lori Rye? Good morning from Bermuda. What's up, Eric? I saw your car show, man. Your buddy's got a dang Charger. 800 horsepower. Miss Missy Marie. That's a cool little catchy name. Valerie Bauer, good morning. Jonathan, what's up there in Carolinas? Got some storms maybe coming tomorrow. T. Martinez from Pembroke Pines. That's the home of the flooding. We were there for Ada. John, good morning from the Villages. What's up, Emily Martin? What's up? Richard says, hey, you're glad you're feeling better. Yes, he's amazing. He hardly snores like he used to, too. So the medicine they got him on is really helping. Breathing better, plays a lot, skin's looking better. You good boy. Yeah. There's Miss Bobby, Hurricane Harbor. We're going to talk about El Nino, Bobby. You want to wait a few more minutes here. I got some years to look at. What's up, Chris from Fort Worth, Texas? All right. So I'm trying to pop in to see everybody what's going on. Cliff from North Carolina got storms coming tomorrow, buddy. Harold got rain. No more snow, Harold. All right, real quick. I don't know if I showed this last week or not, but I met a cool TSA agent in Tampa. I think I shared it. If not, his name was Charlie. I want to make sure I got it right. But check this out. This is so cool. This is from the TSA in Tampa. They gave me a challenge coin. They wrote out Ian, Hurricane Ian, right here. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And they watched us the whole time during Ian. So he gave me a challenge coin. That was pretty cool. I'm going to put this on my special little stash. I got to get a bigger holder of challenge coins. So we had a really good Hurricane Expo at Oldsmar, and thanks, so many fans came out. I met a bunch of you. I didn't get to talk to everybody, but we had a lot of fans there. Furman gave away some cool bottle openers, and we gave that generator away. I was very thankful the folks from FEMA came, found out they were all big followers of our page. Couldn't believe it. They're like, hey, we follow you. I'm like, hey. It's pretty weird to think FEMA watches us. Got to meet NWS Tampa Bay. They were really nice. They were set up in this is all in Oldsmar. Pinellas County was there, and a lot of great information was given out in our expo. So that went really well. These are some pictures from it. A lot of people were there, and the presentation went really good. I was really happy about that. Another thing I shared over the weekend, this is kind of new if you didn't see it. So Matt down in Wink News, friend of mine, they're changing things up this season. I thought this was interesting to talk about at the start of our daily brew here. So much discussion after Ian with the cone and how they might change the cone one day officially, but there isn't. I don't think they're doing any changes this year. But the center of that cone, so much focus is on that center line of the cone, and everybody always stresses how important it is that the cone itself is what you should be concentrating on and not the center line, especially effects outside that cone. That's one thing that needs to be discussed somehow more, because a lot of folks think that once you're outside that cone, it's nothing. And with Ian, the eye wall of Ian was right on that bottom edge of the cone. A lot of effects obviously were outside the cone, so there's a lot of education still yet to be done with the cone and what it really means, and that will be tweaked one day. But anyway, Matt here, I put the discussion up, and they are going to eliminate that center line and put the little symbols outside the cone, so there's no. It's like the cone. I mean, there's no buddy, specifically pointed out for landfall, which it's a great step in the right direction, I believe. So check it out. I shared it if you want to see it on Twitter and Facebook. A lot of discussion about them doing this for the season ahead. Problem is, like I said, there still needs to be something outside the cone as far as impact areas, and that's got to come for sure. So there's a lot of people that hope that that would be something down the road, but we'll see. Right. All right. As far as weather goes, let's talk about the weather coming up. This is today, middle U.S. We've had this persistent lows, popping down. We had that little bow last night we talked about overnight. I checked this morning; it was there going through St. Louis area. No severe thunderstorm, but it was there, big bow. We got more storms today pushing, basically southeast. Not a big tornado risk today, 2%. Wind mainly and hail definitely. So there's big hail again, possibly Missouri into Illinois today. Tomorrow, this storms now, you might have a little bit of storms popping here. We got to watch in the Carolinas. So that's tomorrow. I shared it a bunch this morning on the page, but we got a lot of people watching in Eastern Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina there. So we'll monitor this, see how it progresses. Not really a tornado chance. They're talking mainly thunderstorms. They don't even have a 2% risk up. So they're mainly just going to be a couple lines of thunderstorms throughout the day, morning, afternoon time. Wind mainly, there you go, wind, and maybe some hail. So tomorrow, big hail again in Oklahoma and Texas. So this is tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, severe thunderstorms possibly severe wind gusts, hail, parts of Carolinas, mid-Atlantic. So that's tomorrow. So pay attention to that. And then on Wednesday, nothing. So day 4, day 8, obviously Tornado Alley here. Or, I don't know, is that officially Tornado Alley? I don't even know. But anyway, I just say middle U.S. But as far as south and southeast goes, really nothing cooking. Northern Plains, really nothing. So, quiet weather we are dealing with right now. So, anyway. Good morning, Loretta Reed. Good morning. Jonathan Green, Mary Krause. Good morning. VB here. What's that, Vero Beach? Hey, by the way, I'm going to be going to the Governor's Hurricane Conference down in West Palm Beach is going on right now. The whole world's there. All kinds of emergency managers, state, government, hurricane conference. I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday during the open exhibitor area. I'll be in booth 511. So if you're there, come check me out. I'm going to post it here a little bit. So probably going to head down tomorrow and just skip our Brew Wednesday. Shelly, I know you're excited about that. Shelly, I'm not too excited about Monday through Friday if we don't have weather. That might be a great time to send out a text that says no live today. All right. So I don't know. That's about it. Let's Let's look at long range weather real quick. I feel like I'm giving up on the weather here, but really there's nothing. We got a high pressure locked over us right now. This is today. So almost no rain the next 2 days in Florida or southern Georgia. We got a high pressure popped over top of us. You can see it right here. There's the H. High pressure usually means no rain and hot and cool in the morning. But let's go forward in time here. Let's take a look. So this is Saturday. Little storms in Texas. Saturday. The weekend looks pretty darn good here. Maybe some rains for Louisiana, Texas on Saturday night. These could be strong if that pans out. GFS really not showing it, so it's still a little too far away. But it is showing action. So weekend action somewhere around Texas, it looks like. High pressure staying strong here across the Atlantic. We'll get into Sunday. Storms across Texas. We get... let me get my little... I have to get my pointer working here. I didn't check it this morning. For some reason, I have to turn it off and on to make it work. All right, so now all right, anytime we get the high pressure here, you get a big blocking pattern, and then all this Gulf moisture feeds upwards. So Definitely looks like the weekend. Louisiana maybe. Texas looks like likely. They're going to see some storms this weekend. And that's it. I mean, I don't see. Look at another high price. It's Sunday. I mean, I shared the drought maps across Florida this morning. Man, we just have nothing. This is all the way to next week. So, I mean, it's going to be dry the next week here. Nothing brewing. All right, so let's talk a little bit about hurricane season. All right, so definitely looking at El Nino coming this summer. Well, it's almost getting there now, almost. But so you're gonna hear a lot about El Nino, and El Nino basically is a weather phenomenon that is from the Pacific being warmer than normal, which creates weather on the Atlantic side. Now, El Nino in the winter is bad for the southeast. It does bring more storms because of the jet stream, and pushes in a lot of storm potential for the winter. So that is almost a guarantee. A stormier fall winter for the south in Florida. But typically in the past, El Nino years have less systems. That's very true. And I'm going to show you some of these El Nino years I have pulled up history-wise. But it doesn't mean that we can't have one. So that's what we're going to talk about it. And the warm water is definitely got people thinking that no matter what with El Nino, the warm water could offset it. So we might have less numbers because of El Nino, but more numbers because of the warmer water. So there's a lot of people that really don't know. You never know with weather. That's the point. It only takes one. No one really knows. As Kid Rock says, only God knows why. But warmer water means storms, no matter what. And warmer water means more rain. And I can't stress enough, tropical systems with water. Like I saw a stat, inland flooding fatalities are way up from 17 to 21. Leading cause, the graphic I saw from National Weather Service was leading cause of fatalities and hurricanes from 17 to 21 were inland flooding. And then that didn't even count Ian. So inland flooding is a freshwater flooding is a big deal. And that's fueled by warm water. I mean, look what happened with Fort Lauderdale, right? 24 plus inches in 24 hours. And that's fueled by the warm Gulf Stream, so. But all right, so let's talk about this. One graphic here. This is a site. So if you want to learn more about El Nino, I have a link here, right here. Let me circle it. That guy right there. That El Nino page is a great page. It's a weekly update of everything going on. They monitor the water anomalies in the Pacific, the different ranges of Nino, the Nino areas in the Pacific. But I guess the one thing I was looking at here is where they're predicting that anomaly to be. And really they're showing a 0.5 degree to 1 degree. That's where they mark El Nino is how much warmer that water is in the Atlantic. So let's say it's supposed to be 70 degrees, right? The anomaly map it's 70.5. Now they go by Celsius, but 70.5 or 71 degrees. So it's basically most of the means are predicting anywhere from 1.5 down to 1. So it's let's say 1 degree. That's where they're peaking it out at. So they got this chart that shows all the years of hurricane season. And red is the waters that were above normal in the Pacific, and blue is the waters that were below. And when we had blue, that was when we were in La Nina, but now we're entering El Nino, which is red, and that's the temperature above normal. And there's that degree. 0.7 is a little more than half. We've only had a few really years that pop out that had above 1 degree in the recent years. 2015 was one of them. So most of our El Nino years have been around 0.5 degree. That's when they mark it to under 1 degree. So I got all these years pulled up. We're going to look at them. Like I said, the strongest El Nino event that we've had in recent times was 97 and 15. And then the rest of the years we're going to show they were more a little mild. So I guess the big factor is how strong of an El Nino we'll have. And the graphic that I have on the website, which you can take a look at right here, this is typical El Nino influence, and it shows you less wind shear in the Pacific, warmer obviously, more moisture, allowing more systems in the Pacific. This creates more wind shear across the Caribbean, and this is why they say we have less hurricanes, is because we have higher wind shear across the Caribbean. All right, so let's look at some years that were El Nino years. Okay. And we will talk about them. All right. Good morning there, Miss Vicky Hill. What's up, Mary Carol Chapman? You saving pennies up for the cruise? Chris Roth, good morning. We just talked about the cruise. What's up? Glenn from Port St. Lucie. Joseph, hey, thanks for the stars, buddy. And anyway, all right. So let's start. So 92 was a technically questionable El Nino year. So if you notice in 1992, right here, boop, 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 boop. And these are your months: December, January. So it's 3-month range: December, January, February. There's March or April, May, June, July, August. So it's kind of your 3-month combination here: May, June, July. So technically, in August, it was not quite. Say it takes a few months in order to feel the effects. So technically, we're still an El Nino year. So. Not 100% of people believe 92 is the El Nino year. However, most of print, if you Google it, most of the print, big dogs say it was. So we're going to go that it was. And I just want to show you that year. Then we'll go all the years. So 92, obviously, very few storms that year. We had 7 storms. You can see the Caribbean's pretty much cut off here, meaning a lot of wind shear possibly. But this is the theme that we're going to talk about. Is these storms that go around and somehow pop back, this direction. So Andrew, obviously we know that it was a devastating Category 5, and it went through Florida and ended up hitting up in Louisiana. So all the focus was Florida, but it still hit Louisiana, believe it or not. And notice it maintained intensity all the way up to second landfall there in Louisiana. So we had, that storm. All right, let's look at another year. 86. 86 was a El Nino year. But, look, the common theme, right? A lot of wind shear, pretty much nothing down here. But homegrown action in the Gulf and along the Atlantic side. So we had, in 86, we had a hurricane, Bonnie. And we also had a hurricane hit the Carolinas. That was Charlie back then, actually. Why would they name that Charlie? Oh, Charlie didn't happen yet. So Charlie. So we had 2 hurricanes that year make landfall, even though it was an El Nino year. And look, they were kind of homegrown Western Atlantic and the Gulf. All right, another year. 87. Another strong year. And I wanted to point out, I guess 87, we had a hurricane that hit South Florida. That was a weaker hurricane, but it's still a hurricane. It was Floyd, 1987. And look, it kind of happened outside that shear zone, right? Not a lot of storms, though. Only 7 storms in 87. But we did also have another major hurricane. Kind of missed a lot of this initial shear. And that would have been Emily, major hurricane that went into Hispaniola. So notice this one started to do this trek north, kind of missing this zonal shear area. All right, 97. I already showed 92. 97, boom, look, nothing. Nothing. Cut off, right? So I guess what's fascinating to me is looking back at these El Nino years. I never really done it. This is the first year I've ever looked back at her history, but definitely during El Nino years we have less numbers. But what stands out more than anything is the Caribbean there cut off, from the shear, and how storms basically avoid it. I find it fascinating. But again, the common theme here is that we still had a hurricane develop in the Gulf, and that was number 5, which was Danny. And, this one went this way. Then we had a lot of homegrown action here, try to go north and miss the coast. But, we had 4 or 5 storms here, too. But we had a hurricane, 87, Danny. All right, another year, 2004. Oh, my goodness. All right. 2004, this is, very active year for Florida. We go back to 2004. The temperatures were, 0.6, 0.7 above, so normal El Nino year. But the 2 storms that stand out, I have to talk about, did the Andrew type of thing, and that was, of course, Gene and Francis. They kind of missed the Caribbean, went up north and went around, and they bended back into Florida, missing a lot of that. But what stood out, which was kind of amazing, we still had late season Ivan that was able to make it through all this, and also Charlie came through. So it did happen that year. 2 storms, Charlie and Ivan, both were able to make it through some of this shear. But then, of course, look at all the activity up here in the Gulf and Western Atlantic. So, we still had stuff blooming here off the coast. So, two anomalies here, 2004. But Gene and Francis took that Andrew kind of look. 14, very little action. Most storms try to avoid it. We had one hurricane, kind of reminds you the one a couple years before I showed. This was Arthur, 2014. And it clipped the Carolinas hurricane. But look, it formed here, outside of this area right here. So the common theme is Western Atlantic, homegrown action, and going around. Staying away from that. 2014. Then we had 15. Look at this one. Boom, nothing. Right? Amazing. Now my phone's ringing. Why would my phone be ringing? Who the heck's that? 2015. Boom, boom, nothing. Amazing, right? However, it was, I can't say Joe Queen. Katie Haley. You corrected me on this before. Not Joe Queen. I can't remember how to say it. But anyway, it was a serious storm. And it started in the Bahamas. And we know it was really bad for them down there. It was a major hurricane. And it ended up going off to the northeast. But again, common theme, Western Atlantic and Caribbean kind of shut down. So very, very, very familiar. Joaquin. You guys are great. God, could I not remember that? I'm going to Google this phone number here. Julie's mom's not doing too good. I'm going to make sure it wasn't anybody too important here. I got to make sure here. Let me Google it real quick. I always Google the phone number. It doesn't pop up. No. Doesn't look like anybody. Oh, I got a voicemail though. Well, anyway. So, hey, Bermuda, yeah. Well, all right. So, yeah, you're correct. All right. So, this is the theme of El Nino years, right? It seems like other than Ivan and Charlie, most El Nino years, this area is pretty shut off. But we're getting a lot of storms possibly forming here and here meaning the Gulf. Might still need to watch some down here. See, this is very typical what you see with a lot of wind shear. So this is a major hurricane. This was Danny. It was a major hurricane, but look what happened. By the time it got to the islands, it was back down to a tropical storm. So it went from hurricane, major hurricane, this is it right here, back down to a tropical storm. And look, so pretty interesting to see, years that had the shear and how it does what it's supposed to do, right? But of course we know that, and then we go to 18. I talk about 18. I bring this one up a lot. 18 again. We had a couple hurricanes out here, 2 of them. We had, looks like Isaac and Kirk. Or no, it's not even Kirk. It's, I don't even know. 11 or 2, I can't remember. Beryl, looks like. Beryl, maybe? No, I don't know. Beryl. So we had 2 hurricanes, and look what they did. They started entering, they called the Caribbean graveyard. And they weakened the time they got to the Lesser Antilles. So, but I bring this up a lot. 18, Florence and Michael, and Florence took this track, came back down into the Carolinas, and of course we know Michael kind of popped out of nowhere, right? And it was Cat 5. So that's it. I mean, there's a lot of history there. 19, El Nino year. Look, everything either avoided, but again, a lot of homegrown action here in 19. We had a brief hurricane, Barry, but it was also the year of Dorian. And Dorian took this track and stopped over the Bahamas and turned up towards Carolinas. So, going to be really interesting at the end of the year to see what happens with all these tracks. But, definitely seeing a lot of similarities here of that shear and kind of stopping before we get to the islands. But there has been a few anomalies. There's been a couple. But, enough to say I think our places to watch are going to be this Western Atlantic and definitely the Gulf of Mexico, which goes back to the water temperatures. And the water temperatures are the big discussion right now. And they have cooled off in the Gulf. They have. But if you look at the 7-day departure from normal here, and this is the area that they're all talking about. This whole main development region's warming up fast, and that's got a lot of people saying, well, that might offset the effects of El Nino, but it's still gonna be hard to get through this year. So I'm, my prediction is we're gonna see storms try to go around the outside. They're going to make a Ross Chastain pass on the outside at Martinsville. And then, of course, homegrown. We got to worry about homegrown. So, that's all I got to say about that. But we will just see. But there's a little cool stuff. I used to never, Bobby, if you're still watching, oh, you are. Bobby always compared storms. I used to never really get into comparing past seasons with storms. And I do now. So, I don't know, kind of seeing, history repeat itself. We saw that with Ian last year, with the timing of, was it Gina France? I can't remember now. Here's my slides from Oldsmar. I don't know if they're going to load. It takes forever to load these things. Let's see if I can... I got some cool stats here, man. I found this site. Check this out. This one, Oldsmar history, right? 2 hurricanes have passed within 20 miles of my hometown. This is a really fun map to use. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, this is a great one. This is a new one that just came out. Let me share this one. So this was put out by National Weather Service Tampa Bay, and they're discussing how the surge levels did not care about the strength of hurricanes. Hurricane Katrina was a Cat 3, 28 foot storm surge. Katrina is Cat 3. Hurricane Ike was a Cat 2, and it had 20 foot of storm surge was as a Cat 2. Of course, Hurricane Ian, 10 to 15 foot, Cat 4. Hurricane Irene was a Cat 1, and it had 8 to 11 feet of storm surge. Charlie was 6 to 8 foot. So, obviously, Katrina, big storm, right? Big, slow-moving storms push a lot of water. And another, informative thing about this graphic here is that there's three ways to look at tide or surge. You have your initial surge that they put out as potential surge. You add storm tide to that. So if you have a high full moon, and then you add waves to that. I didn't really ever think about that, but it seeing footage from Ian, you have your surge level, but then all the wind and waves on top of the surge. So you might have a 15-foot storm surge, but if you got big winds blowing, that's another 3, 4, 5 foot on top of that surge. So anyway, Shelly's name is Chatbot. Well, we're getting technical. We got chatbots. So, yeah. I like chatbots. Chatbot. I don't even remember the graphic I was trying to show. But anyway, I got a lot of cool stuff here. Only takes one. I don't remember what I was going to show. Anyway, all right. Well, that's short and sweet. But anyway. So, yeah, interesting. Renee, yeah, interesting about storm surge. Thank you. Yeah, it was, you always think it's got to be a Cat 3, 4, 5 to be a big storm surge. But it was pretty interesting that Irene and Ike had large storm surge. So, anyway, anything else we could talk about? Kitron, I'll be down in your neck of the woods a couple of days. Hanging out at the GHC. Tom, yes, the El Faro. I remember that. Right in the middle of dang Joaquin. I only remembered how to say it because I'm reading it right now. Eric, what do you think about the Rays coming back yesterday, man? Jonathan, cone of uncertainty. Yeah, we can talk about that next time. That'd be good. Cone of uncertainty, man. Last year's cone had a lot of, hey, good morning from Jamaica. Keisha, hey, so far the hurricane season is looking good for you guys down there, because if we do have a lot of wind shear, there hasn't been a lot of storms in Western Caribbean during El Nino years. So hopefully at least some folks could breathe a sigh of relief. Anyway, people aren't smart. I don't know. Morning, Melissa. All right. Well, that's about it for me. Rose, good morning, Master. So, any questions? I don't know. We'll talk more next time. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. A little bit of weather chat, talking about outside of our normal shear. Well, Chris, one thing I'm talking with the Weather Service, that there are going to be the wind shear isn't persistent the whole time. That a lot of the wind shear is brought in by the subtropical jet stream, and it's going to fluctuate down and up, and there'll be periods that it's light or it'll bow a little bit. So there's going to be windows of opportunity for storms to develop. It's not a persistent guaranteed shear. It's just it's increased more than normal overall. How's it going with Mr. Telford? And everything else. So don't forget our YouTube channel over there streaming. Thanks to our good friends at All Dry Great company, does a lot of storm cleanup. They're all across the country. We have a lot of folks that unfortunately get flooding, so we like to partner with companies that are in the storm industry. So if you unfortunately have to use any sort of cleanup services, check them out. And of course, locally, don't forget our good friends at Done Right Roofing here in Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsboro. They big supporters of us here locally. I'm a local yokel. That's what they say. Brooksville golfing. Oh my God, Paul, we don't have any rain coming in the next several days. Let's take a look at that for everybody. Let me close some windows here real quick. I had these years up, and I did change the website. Shelly, guess what? New link alert. So I have the 2022 season here. You can click on it and see last year. But I click, this is a new link, past hurricane seasons. You click on that, there's your years with the graphics. If you want to go back and look at like 2000, there it is, 2000. Look at that little hurricane. What was that one? 17. That was, that's not it, 17. 7. That would be Gordon, 2000. And here, not sure if it was an El Nino year or not. But anyway, it's a new link if you want to look back at history and see all the different years and, see what was cooking up to. And then a little trick here. See 95, it stops at 95. Like we can click on 95. But if you go into the title bar, you can change the year to 92. So even though they don't have it listed, you just change the year in the very top of your search bar. There's like 1990. So there you go, little trick. And what was I going to show you after that? I don't remember now. Yeah. Anyway. New link of the day. Oh, Wednesday. We're talking about Wednesday. I'm glad I read your message, Paul. So it looks like you're good to golf. There could be some afternoon stuff Wednesday. I did a map to Wednesday mid-morning, midday, but here's the deal. Let's look at the southeast, basically. So I posted some rain maps. Here's precipitation all the way. So here's rainfall through Wednesday midday. Look at that. Almost nothing for all of Florida and southern Georgia, lower Louisiana. We have a high pressure blocked in here that's pretty much keeping things dry. This is through Wednesday. But if you start to look past, get into Wednesday night, we start to see Wednesday afternoon thunder showers popping up. So make sure you're golfing in the morning, Paul. So we're starting to see the return of some inland showers Wednesday afternoon, and they really pop in on Thursday. So here's your Thursday. So, inland Thursday looking like a guarantee. Coastal, But we are starting to see the return of some inland storms Thursday, possibly Thursday. And then Friday, maybe some more on the east, west coast here. That means our high pressure is sliding. And you can see this. This is so cool. Look, see this rain? Like that? That means the high pressure is sliding a little bit that way. We're starting to have more inland effects and juicy, more towards the west coast. So that's kind of a change, and they call that a change. So that's Friday. Could be a little more showers popping on Friday. Then look at that. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, nothing. High pressure back again. So your best chances of rain, upper half of Florida Wednesday night, middle state Thursday, maybe some west coast action Friday, and then the weekend looks pretty dry. Maybe some normal stuff down south, but not a very rainy pattern. There's really no systems on the way. So, Mark Hall, what do you think about the NASCAR race? Where'd you find? Somebody lost their internet, Tom. Ross Chastain. Hey, Cliff, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, Ross Chastain. Boy, he's a fiery little guy. All right, let's look at this. Tomorrow, thunderstorms. So yeah, and they're talking about just storms. There's not a really. But let's look a little closer into radar for you guys when that's going to come tomorrow across the Mid-Atlantic. So let's just go to Mid-Atlantic. You can't really see. Well, you can see South Carolina. Why is this not showing up all the way? That's not really good. Right there. Oh, there's my bar. Okay. So let's look at tomorrow. Rains. We'll see when these rains are coming in because we are under a yellow risk for tomorrow. Not really getting Carolina, though. I don't like this map. Let's try the southeast. That's southwest. Southeast. This might be a little better. But here's your... Oh, this is total preset. Let's look at radar. See when it's coming. So Tuesday, here's that blog of rain. So if you're... I don't know if anybody in Tennessee's watching, but here's tomorrow, early, overnight, before daybreak. There's some storms coming through tomorrow morning. Some of that energy you can tell is just kind of staying attached. And here's what they're talking about: midday to afternoon thunderstorms, basically tomorrow, and that's Carolinas. They have the yellow across pretty much all of eastern North Carolina, and they have dark green in Virginia and South Carolina. So mainly tomorrow, it's just going to be some storms. They're going to be coming in from the west, and there you go. So not a lot of certainty who gets them, but enough that they know that there's a chance. And those are just, like I said, isolated thunderstorms. So it won't be a complete watch out for everybody, but we can zoom in on this a little better tomorrow and just kind of see. Maybe, it's not a really good graphic. It's that little storm banger, but this doesn't really show you too much. Anyway, so you have to watch that. Like I said, we're under yellow for tomorrow. And there you go. That's for tomorrow. Looks isolated right now. Nothing organized. It's going to be incoming. So there you go. All right. All right. Well, we'll let you know about Wednesday if I head down to the GHC or not. So we'll keep you posted on that. But like I said, there's not a lot of weather to talk about right now. So we're kind of in a lull. May systems, tropics are possible. I teased this in the Brew Crew this morning, but since we only have a few people left, let's talk about it. Yesterday, the GFS was showing a system in the Gulf. But, whatever. I mean, it was there was a little spot, one little lonely ensemble member. This is for later next week. And, I'll tease you with it, but it's really very low chance. I'm not even going to post it on the page yet. But there it is. One member out of 51 showing a weak system possibly going that way. That would be later next week. So 1 out of 51. Actually, go back to Tropical Tidbits here. I think it was yesterday's, what was it? I don't think it was 18th. It was a 6Z maybe. Yeah. So one run yesterday, the GFS showed a weak system coming up. Probably what the one member of the Euro is showing. That said, that'd be like 8-9 days from now. But it's worth pointing out. Very, 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 very low chance because none of the other models have even picked up on it yet. So, but what I'm getting at is May has had a system. We had one in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, technically one of those years was April, not May, but last year was the only year since 15 we haven't had a May system, so it's not uncommon. So we'll start watching more. But right now, it's quiet. So, there you go. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. And enjoy your Monday. We're going to be watching the Rays later. Play Baltimore, I believe, right? And we'll see. All right. Till next time.